we're from Louisiana, South Louisiana, where it's very, very hot. And this year, for the first time ever, it's very, very dry, uncharacteristic. Our story is different. Our Katie is 42 years old, and Katie was born completely normal, not a problem. And at 6 weeks old, she had E. coli meningitis, and it wiped out her nervous system to the point where she didn't even have a suck. So she lost the ability to even suck her bottle. So we have been 24/7. Every single thing that Katie needs is provided for her. She can feed herself with her right hand because that's the only thing she can use until now. And so everything that happens is like caring for a newborn 24 hours a day. We started patching Katie in March. I had a friend that told me had sent me a mercy gift of X39 and Ice Wave and just said, try this on. And so I did, but my mom brain was only thinking about pain, and Katie wasn't in pain. So it didn't dawn on me that this would help her. I just didn't know. And one morning on March 4th, she woke up and she had a crick in her neck. And when you put her in bed at night, she has to stay in the exact position she's in. She could not ever move herself to reposition. So you have to get it perfect every single night. And she had a crick in her neck. And I thought, I put an X39 on her trap. And that afternoon, my husband said, Katie's happy. Katie's always happy. But she was happier than normal. And she was loose. Her body was looser than normal. And I thought, well, that's good. Well, that night he realized when he gave her a bath that she had an X39 on her. So the next day I thought, why not do it again? And that afternoon we have to lay her down after lunch because her circulation to let her stretch out again. And she can't stay in her wheelchair that long without getting those legs stretched out. So we put her in her room, turned on her music like always, and we heard this laughter. And this laughter was just like somebody was in there telling her the best joke ever, but it was only us in the house. And we opened the door, and our Katie, that has had her arm contracted for 42 years, had straightened her left arm completely out and raised it over her own head. And she was just looking at it, just laughing and smiling and like, look what I can do. And that arm had never been straight, and it had never been over her own head. And we just pretty much fell to our knees and cried because we witnessed a miraculous recovery. So we have been patching since March, and now she's up to the Fab 5. And I had a wonderful person named April Vaughn that said, come sit with me. If you do this, Katie will gain more. And she just said more of everything. Well, April Vaughn was right. We've been using the Fab 5 on Katie now. And her favorite thing to do in the afternoon is straighten out her own arm and just rub it and feel it, because she can now. She's talking more, she's humming, she's singing, she's engaging with people and allowing them to engage with her. We've never let anybody touch Katie, and she doesn't touch anyone. But now she is wanting for people to come into her space and talk and be with her and interact. And she's doing it with such grace, and she reads your heart. She never looks at the outside. She's always looking about who you are. And we got to take her on her very first vacation in 20 years. We went to Texas with her, and in the heat and all the activity and all of that, a wonderful man walked up to her and asked her if she would like to dance. And she looked at me, and I told her it was okay. And he took her and he wheelchair danced with her while the band sang to her. And that was her very first dance. So she has a boyfriend now. He might not know that, but she does. And one of the ladies was walking up, and Katie just looked at her from across the room, and she just read her. And she took her right arm, which she can use her right arm, but she bent it at the elbow because she wanted to give her a hug. She didn't know the woman's story, but she hugged her and gave her just a big, giant mercy hug. And it's exactly what the woman needed, but it was exactly what I needed, because my girl can now hug with both arms, and that's never happened before. So when you said that, a hug is worth a lot. And this little tiny patch has the power to do that if you just put it on and give it a little time. Drink a big glass of water. We now watch Katie. She can move both of her legs independently. She can bed dance. She was playing with the lyrics of a song the other day, and they were singing "God's Gonna Get You for That," and she was dancing with them, she'd go and she'd point that finger, "God's gonna get you for that," and then she'd laugh because she gets it. It's been in there all this time, but it was stuck. It was a body that knew what to do, just didn't know how to do it. And these patches have unleashed her freedom and given her the ability to express herself. Listening to your daughter sing after 42 years is amazing. Watching her flirt with her new boyfriend, it's just precious. But more than that, when you ask, if I asked our cardiologist the other day, and Katie's in perfect health, but I asked him, what would you tell if there was an auditorium full of doctors, and you'd say this person had E. coli meningitis at 6 weeks, wiped out her nervous system. She's 42 years old now. What words of encouragement could you give to their parents? He said, there wouldn't be any. We would be preparing you for the decline, not for the increase. And Katie is increasing every day. Every day there's a new skill. This morning, we went to get her up from bed, and I'm crying. And she had both knees in the air, both legs were bent, her knees were in the air, her arms were above her head. And she took it and she did a stomach crunch, and she had her head, everything was off of the bed all the way to her shoulders. That strength that she did not have. Having her legs both bent up was something she did not have. Not having Clonus in her hand is just a miracle. To see it, to not jump. But driving back from Texas for the first time, Katie rode with me shotgun. She was my shotgun rider. And instead of me holding her hand on the trip, she was holding mine, because she can open that left hand now. And she held my hand. And when she felt like she had gotten over too far, she actually took her left arm, straightened herself so she could put her right arm on the armrest of the car. This is skill that doesn't sound like it's huge, but when you've never had it, this is like climbing a mountain. She has climbed mountain after mountain since March, and I think we're only at the beginning. I don't think that we've even come to a peak yet. If you know somebody that has an inability to do something, share the patch with them. Tell them the story. Tell them the potential that this little tiny disc holds. The potential is unlimited. If I would have understood it better sooner, we'd be so far down the road now, but we know it right now. So now we're doing better. We're doing more because we know better. And for every mom out there, there's hope. You don't have to stay trapped. There's hope.
There is a question that has been asked, some people are not familiar with the Fabulous Five, and I'd wonder if you'd like to share that with everyone.
So the Fab Five is X39, which is what begins our stem cells to activate, of course. X49 is the co-conspirator, as I say, that helps it and emboldens the body to do more, gives it more flexibility, strength, stamina, helps the heart, helps the brain. Carnosine is fabulous to protect the brain, but it also takes the heavy metals and aluminum and the toxins that are in a body, it draws them out. Glutathione is just liquid gold. It is the master antioxidant de-stressor. Eon, I didn't add Eon, but behind the ear, Eon will take the most stressful of situations and just unwind it. It is like consuming 30 cups of royal jelly a day, which is very difficult to do, but that's what the patch emulates within our body. And what did I forget? Did I forget one?
Carnosine, Aeon, glutathione, X39, X49.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's the 5 that will give you a new perspective on life.
Right. Sometimes some people add Alavita to it as well, but
she does Alavita every night.
Yeah.
Kitty, because she sleeps in the same exact position every night and her hand is always in the same place. She has a compression bruise that has been caused on her face. Since her using Alavita, she hasn't changed how she sleeps, but that compression bruise is almost faded to nothing. I forgot. Katie doesn't seizure any longer. She with mosquito bites or stings of any insects. That's been taken off of her list. The compression bruise is going away. She had a polycyst in her nose that we have been trying to deal with for 5 years now, and we noticed with no luck, no medication, nothing was making it move. And they talked about the possibility of having to cut it out or drain it or whatever they wanted to do. And it is disappearing. It is almost completely gone and non-visible now if you look at her. That I contribute that to the carnosine and X49 to X39. I mean, that's what's drawing it out. I'm positive.
Yeah. So here's a picture, guys, of Katie. And she is gorgeous. Sorry, we have a little glare there. You can just see her energy. She is just so full of energy and bubbliness and light. I love that. That's beautiful. That's a beautiful picture of her.
But be careful what you pray for, because we prayed for her to talk, but it came with sass. And there's a lot of sass.
That's a good thing.